Arizona would enter the weekend 8-0 against the 49ers in their last 8 games, but Jimmy Garoppolo would torch the Cardinals for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, and it was the 49ers that would leave the weekend 8-0 and the best record in the NFL. The Cardinals opened the game with a touchdown, and the 49ers were forced to punt. Arizona got the ball back, and we're going to take a look right away at how the 49ers defense responded. Now, we pick up right where we left off with the Carolina game. All the receivers for the Arizona Cardinals are covered. And when you have to hold the ball as a quarterback, that means Nick Bosa and Dee Ford are going to get home. The 49ers defense would harass Kyler Murray all night long, and here you see Dee Ford on the left, and he goes right around the right tackle. He's no contest for him. All right, now I'm going to show you a rare incompletion for Jimmy Garoppolo tonight. He completed over 76% of his passes in this game. But look at the top of the screen, and you're going to see Budda Baker on press coverage against George Kittle. That means he's right up against him on the line of scrimmage. And there's a risk when you do this kind of coverage, which is if you get beat off the line, the guy could go right by you for a touchdown. Here, Baker does a great job of sticking right on George Kittle and knocks down the pass. Okay, keep this in mind for later. For now, let's move ahead to the next play. The flanker on the bottom of the formation is going to go deep, and he's going to take the corner and the safety with him. Ross Dwelley, the other tight end, is lined up in the fullback position, and he's going to run a route into the middle of the field. Now here's Budda Baker, but he doesn't know what Dwelley's going to do. He might stay in to help pass protect. He might run a wheel route to the outside. Or maybe he'll even take a handoff himself. So Baker is in a position where he literally has to wait and see what Dwelley is going to do. Even now, he doesn't know if he's going to go deep, if he's going to cut to the inside. And of course, the most natural move would be to cut to the outside. And that's what Dwelley does. But because of the space that Baker had to give him, Dwelley is open on the play. Dwelley does a nice job of fighting for extra yards here and gets close to the first down marker. Now watch Garoppolo's head on his drop back. He keeps his eye on the safety all the way to the back of his drop and then throws the pass, just like they teach you how to do it. Okay, this is later in the same drive. And remember what I said about press coverage. And you see that George Kittle is lined up in the slot and Budda Baker is right on him. But I actually want you to watch Richie James on this play. Watch how he runs right up to this defender and he makes sure that he gets picked up by him. This allows Kittle to run behind him one-on-one. Remember, that safety's not going to be that close because he's backpedaling. Check it out. Now Kittle does beat Baker right off the line. The safety can't make the tackle, and then Kittle runs over Baker on the way into the end zone for a touchdown. Oh, and did I mention George Kittle had hyperextended his knee earlier in the game? Outstanding effort. Look at this. Get off me. 49ers tie the game 7-7. All right, the Cardinals get the ball back now, and let's see what they do. Check out the 2 wide receivers at the top of the screen. You can see they're running a long way down the field. These are long developing routes. And you don't have time to run these long developing routes against the 49ers because the pass rush is going to eat you alive. And that's what happens here. Dre Greenlaw gets the sack. Now Greenlaw is going to have to fill in for Quan Alexander, who was lost for the season to a torn pec. Now, interestingly, Greenlaw actually has a better run defense grade than Quan Alexander had. But what about coverage? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Fred Warner fills in a little bit in that role. And fittingly, this is the very next play of the game. And take a look at Fred Warner here, communicating with the defense, getting everybody in position. And he lines up in the middle of the formation, but then immediately sprints to where the ball is going to be. He knew what that play was going to be before they ran it. Quan Alexander is a big loss, but you know what? The 49ers defense is going to be just fine. They just have too many weapons. And that was almost a touchdown there. The Cardinals very fortunate there. All right, the 49ers get the ball back. And right away, one thing we notice is how much respect that the corner is giving to Emmanuel Sanders. He's worried about his speed. And we're going to get a really good example of Sanders' speed on this play. Okay, the safety is backpedaling aggressively, and you can see that the corner has had to break into an all-out sprint to keep Sanders from going by him. As soon as he does that, Sanders simply turns around to catch a pass. Okay, now Sanders is just taking the first step in his break, but you can already see Garoppolo has started his throwing motion. This ball has to travel a long way in the air, so the timing has to be precise. And it is. That's a big-time throw right there. Oh, look at that. There's 3 defenders right there, but they never stood a chance. At the start of this next play, you're going to see the safety come up to the line of scrimmage, and that's because he's going to rush the passer. The Cardinals are going to send a blitz. The 49ers have sent George Kittle in motion, and one of the linebackers is going to go with him. That's going to leave just one linebacker in the middle of the field. Now, think back to the video we did on Emmanuel Sanders 2 weeks ago. Remember we talked about how he's so good at getting just past the linebacker and then cutting in to catch a pass. In fact, the 49ers even send the running back out on a route to make sure that the linebacker is occupied with him. This leaves Sanders one-on-one in the open field with nobody to make the tackle, and he is off to the races. 31-yard gain on the play. Now watch how Garoppolo hits him right in stride, and that allows him to get a lot of yards after the catch. Now this next play is one of my favorite plays in the whole game. Garoppolo makes his first read to the right. It's a screen pass and it's not there. So he resets his feet and makes his second read to the deep route. It's not there either. So he resets his feet again and comes underneath to Emmanuel Sanders. Steve Mariucci used to call this touchdown, check down. And that's exactly how you want your quarterback to go through his progressions. Now when we watch it from this angle, I want you to notice how quickly Garoppolo goes through these reads. Just like that. Okay, the 49ers are threatening now, and we noticed right away that Jordan Hicks is heading over to cover the running back, who's lined up on the outside. When the running back comes back to the backfield, Hicks goes with him, and that's a pretty good indication that Hicks is going to be defending the running back one-on-one. As it turns out, the running back is going to run a route to the flat, and that's where Hicks will go on the play. George Kittle is going to run to the post, and quite understandably, he is double-teamed. This is going to leave Kendrick Bourne one-on-one to go into the end zone, and the corner does a really good job of staying right with him. However, Bourne has excellent position to the inside, and you can see Garoppolo has already started his throw. Bourne makes a great catch, and he comes down for the touchdown. Now, when we look from this angle, I'm going to show you why this is such a great catch. Not only is the defender draped all over him, but we can see that this ball is actually tipped. And watch how it comes off the hand funny. And this is a very difficult ball to catch because everything about it is now changed. The velocity, the location, but Bourne just reaches up with his hands and makes a great hands catch with the defender all over him. And he hangs on to the football. Kendrick Bourne is clutch. It's 14-7, and the 49ers get the ball right back again. And here they start off with a running play. The tight end Ross Dwelley lines up in the fullback position, and he will be the lead blocker for Matt Breida. Now, there's a couple of really cool things on this play. One, check out Dan Brunskill getting to the second level to block this linebacker. But the really cool thing is George Kittle blocks not one, but two defenders on this play. Watch this. That is awesome. Now, Breida cuts behind the block of Brunskill, and he gets over 30 yards on the play. Big run for Matt Breida. Brunskill has played really well in both pass protection and run blocking, and it gives Mike McGlinchey the luxury of taking all the time he needs to heal. The depth of this team is really impressive, and it's a tribute to the coaching staff. I'll tell you guys a quick story before this next play. When Joe Montana was learning how to play football, him and his dad would go out to their backyard, and his dad would snap him the football, and then Montana would throw it through a tire swing. Well, one time his dad snaps him the ball, and then he steps right on his foot, and Montana falls down. And he says, "Hey, you can't do that." And his dad says, "Yeah? Are you going to tell the center he can't do it during an actual game?" The point is, as a quarterback, you need to be ready to deal with these kind of situations. Okay, let's go back to the play now. Garoppolo gets the snap, and the center steps on his foot, and Garoppolo still manages to make the pitch to Breida, and there's a 49er blocker who has fallen down in front of him, and Breida says, "That's okay," and he jumps right over him the long way, mind you, and he comes down for a 20-yard gain on the play. Are you kidding me? Right about here, the rest of the league should be realizing the 49ers are really good, and they have talent at every position. Okay, the 49ers are threatening again, but it's 3rd and goal. So all the defensive backs for the Cardinals are going to back up to the goal line to defend the touchdown first and foremost. Except for the middle linebacker. He's going to rush the quarterback. In fact, the corner is going to come too. This is called a corner blitz. The Cardinals are going to send 6 men on a blitz. Now, this is risky because it's going to leave George Kittle absolutely wide open. Nobody's going to be covering him. But remember, it's 3rd down. So as long as they stop him before he gets a touchdown, it'll be 4th down, and the 49ers will have to settle for a field goal. There's big-time pressure right in Garoppolo's face, but he gets Kittle the football, and Kittle takes it all the way down inside the 1-yard line. Now, this is really interesting because that changes things quite a bit. Since they're at their half-yard line, the 49ers might be able to just punch it in. They don't have to settle for the field goal. Now, there's 4 seconds right before the half, so this is a huge moment in the game. And I really wish I could show you what happened next. Unfortunately, the following sequence of events wasn't included in the footage. And the reason why is because technically it was a timeout. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened. The 49ers sent a defensive player, Sheldon Day, into the game to be a lead blocker on a 4th and goal running attempt. Now, the head coach of the Cardinals, Cliff Kingsbury, saw this and realized, oh man, this is an unusual situation. I better call timeout to make sure my team is ready. Well, he called timeout just as the 49ers snapped the ball. And the Cardinals stuffed the 49ers on the play. But he was awarded the timeout, so the play didn't count. So that means we do the play again, and that takes us here. Okay. The 49ers have a running back and a fullback in the backfield in an offset I. They turn around and they fake the handoff, and all 11 Cardinals bite on the fake. And that's a big problem because that's not a fullback, that's Emmanuel Sanders, and he's going to run a route into the end zone. Now, this defender on the end here tries to recover, but it's already too late. Touchdown, San Francisco. The 49ers go up 21-7 on the do-over with 0 seconds left in the half. What a huge sequence of events that was. Now, to Arizona's credit, they come right out in the second half and score a touchdown, making the score 21-14. And now it's time for the 49ers offense to respond. And how do you do that? How about by going right to your star player, George Kittle? The 49ers fake a handoff, and the Cardinals react heavily on the play. Kittle will just run behind and catch a pass. Now you'll see Kittle gets great separation on the play because that's not Budda Baker chasing him, that's Jordan Hicks. And Hicks can't keep up with Kittle in the open field like that. He has to wait for the safety, Jalen Thompson, to come make the tackle. Now Thompson is a rookie, but he does a great job of tackling George Kittle in the open field here. Not bad. Okay, and here it is. This is it. This is the play everybody's been talking about on social media and everything since this game took place. The big Jimmy Garoppolo throw to Emmanuel Sanders. All right, I stopped it right here because this is right where Garoppolo starts his throwing motion. And he's going to put this ball right in between the 0 and the sideline on the 30-yard line, way out in front here, even though the receiver is way back here. Now, Garoppolo can do this because he notices that both defenders have their backs turned. And I'm going to run this in slow motion because we're going to count Sanders' steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Garoppolo threw that ball 5 steps before Sanders made his break. That is one of the best throws by a quarterback that you will ever see, and it's worth a second look. That is unbelievably good. It's an incredible throw, and Jimmy Garoppolo is in the zone. Sanders turns around and the ball is right there. And check out Emmanuel Sanders after the play. He knows what a great play that was. And then check out Patrick Peterson looking back at Garoppolo like, are you kidding me? Peterson never saw that ball. He knows what a great play that was too. And the Cardinals coaching staff knows what a great play that was. And they're not going to let Garoppolo just sit back there and light them up like that. So they send a 7-man blitz on this play. Okay, now watch Garoppolo's arm here because he starts to throw and then he stops. Why? Well, he sees that the Cardinals have made a mistake in coverage. 2 defenders went after the same guy. Now, the inside corner realizes his mistake and tries to recover, but it's way too late. Dante Pettis is already streaking behind him full speed towards the end zone. Garoppolo floats up a nice, easy pass for him, and Pettis does a good job of getting both feet down inbounds here. Let's go back to the snap. Now, despite a 7-man blitz, the pass protection was actually really good here. There's pressure, but Garoppolo has the space to make the throw. Pettis has the catch, both feet down in bounds, and the 49ers fans in the stands are already celebrating the touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo has electrified this crowd, and then Pettis does the Thriller dance afterwards for maximum effect on Halloween night. I love it. 49ers lead 28-14, and the Cardinals want to make something happen now, but the 49er defense is having none of it. Okay, now it looks like there's a man coming open for Kyler Murray over the middle. Murray's a little uncomfortable with how close the linebacker is, and so he's waiting until he gets a little bit more space behind him. But when you wait like that against the 49er D, the pressure is going to get to you. Now, I think Murray could have thrown that with a little bit more anticipation and completed that pass. And that right there kind of speaks volumes, doesn't it? That's the difference between Jimmy Garoppolo and a lot of the other quarterbacks in the league, is he has the ability to throw with that kind of anticipation. And we just saw an example of that right here in this game. I do want to be super clear that I'm not knocking Kyler Murray at all. In fact, I have a lot of respect for the way the Cardinals fought throughout this game. And I think it's pretty clear that he is going to be a problem for the NFC West in years ahead. But right here, he's looking over at DeForest Buckner and going, uh-oh. Now, we've seen a lot of other teams get to this point and sort of lay down and die against the 49ers this year. And the Cardinals did not. They went on a long drive and were threatening late in the game. Now, they run a wildcat snap here, and it looks like initially they gained about 4 or 5 yards on the play. But we're going to go back and take a look at something that I believe is very important. Okay, the reason this play gained 5 yards is because we can see guard J.R. Sweezy is holding DeForest Buckner right here. And here we see the flag come in. This penalty was called, and this was a 10-yard penalty that backed the Cardinals up. And to understand why this was so important, we have to understand the game situation here. There's 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and they were able to gain some of that yardage back, but it's still 4th down and 13. The problem is you're down by 2 scores. It's 28-14. So if you kick a field goal, you're still down by 2 scores in the fourth. You really need to go for it here on 4th down, but it's 4th down and 13. Now it's too long to go for it. You see, we've already seen that these longer developing routes don't work against the 49ers pass rush. So the Cardinals had no choice but to kick a field goal here. That penalty really cost them. And you can see as the 49ers defense is leaving the field, they are absolutely gassed. But there's Robert Saleh congratulating his guys. He knows what a big stop that was. Now on the other side of the ball, of course, the 49ers want to start taking some time off the clock. So they're in that mode now where they're basically just going to run it 2 times and then pass on 3rd down. And it's essential that they get first downs to keep the clock moving here. And we notice right away the pocket is collapsing around Garoppolo. Now, when the receivers see this, they have to go into what's called a scramble drill. And what that means is you basically run towards your quarterback. Now check out Deebo Samuel here. He sees the situation and reacts in the perfect way. He runs towards the quarterback just like a veteran. He gave Garoppolo a place to go with the football, and that keeps the chains moving, but more importantly, it keeps the clock running. Check it out from this angle. Despite the chaos all around them, Garoppolo climbs the pocket and then zips this ball to Deebo Samuel. Big play. Now, eventually the Cardinals did get the ball back, but by then there was only 5 minutes to go in the game, and they're still down 2 scores. Now, it's worth talking about the 49ers' defensive alignment here, because when you're up 2 scores with a few minutes left in the game, you have the luxury of doing what's called a prevent defense. And not everybody likes this, and I'll talk about why, but what a prevent defense is basically you would take these linebackers out, put defensive backs in, and put them back here. And the reason you do that is because you prevent any big plays from getting past you. And you're going to allow the other team to complete passes underneath and then make the tackle. And this keeps the clock running so that if eventually the other team does get all the way down and score, they've scored, but there's only 2 minutes left. And they might have to try an onside kick or something else like that that's very low percentage. Your odds of winning go up. Now, not everybody likes this, and the 49ers decide to use a much more aggressive defense here. The risk, of course, is that if you do give up a long touchdown, now the other team has scored and there's still 5 minutes left. Well, let's take a look at what happens. Here we see Emmanuel Moseley is covering rookie wide receiver Andy Isabella one-on-one, and he does not have safety help. Now Moseley decides to try to make a play on the ball here. And if you are going to make a play on the ball and you don't have safety help, you cannot miss. Because if you miss, more likely than not, that receiver is going to catch the ball behind you and he is going to be gone. And Isabella has 4.3 speed. This was a very dangerous move. And well, that's exactly what happened. Now on the back end of this, we're going to see another mistake. Richard Sherman and Jimmy Ward should be able to hem him in here. Sherman takes the outside, and this means the safety Ward has to stay to the inside, but they both go to the outside, and that allows Isabella to cut back to the inside of the field and use his speed to take it all the way into the end zone for a touchdown, 88 yards. And the Cardinals are right back in this. Now this is a beautiful pass from Kyler Murray. Maybe a little bit of a risky one, but the 49ers have to understand that the Cardinals are in a position where they have to take risks. They have no other choice at this point. I'd like to see the 49ers use a prevent defense in this situation the next time around. Okay, the situation is what it is. The 49ers get the ball back. There's 4:37 on the clock, and they're facing a big third down here. And now it's essential to take time off the clock. Before I was saying, yeah, it would be nice if they could. They would like to take some time off the clock. Here, they absolutely have to take time off the clock. Otherwise, they're going to give the ball back to the Cardinals, who are now just down 3 points after converting a 2-point conversion. Garoppolo takes the snap, and right away we see he's under big-time pressure. He is going to take a hit here. And it looks like all the receivers for the 49ers are covered. There is a hole in the zone. There's nobody there quite yet, but Garoppolo throws the ball to the hole in the zone, and Sanders just slides over into that area and makes the catch like the two of them have been on the same team for 5 years. This is incredible chemistry, and it's a brilliant throw. You're on the road on a short week. Your defense is gassed. It's absolutely critical that you run this clock out. Garoppolo has been so good all game long, and here he comes up big in the clutch. He takes the hit and delivers the football. Huge first down. Okay, 3rd down and 3 here, and an incomplete pass stops the clock. But if you hand the ball off, the clock will keep running. Unless you step out of bounds. So here's the deal. If you can get the first down, you're allowed to go out of bounds. But if you can't make it, you've got to stay in bounds and keep that clock running. If you're going to go for the first down, you have to be absolutely sure. And oh, it looks like Coleman may have stepped out of bounds there. But fortunately, the officials had a really good view of the play. And you can see that his foot is in bounds. That's how close it was. But it is a first down for the 49ers. 3rd down and 9 here with 2 minutes to go. Same situation. An incomplete pass will stop the clock. So a lot of teams would hand the ball off here and punt with about a minute to go and take their chances on defense. But remember, Garoppolo completed 76% of his passes in this game. The 49ers coaches trust him with the football, so they call another pass here, and Garoppolo delivers. He slides up in the pocket, and how he even sees Dwelley over there, I'll never know. Dwelley bounces off the tackle and gets the first down. Game over. I feel like this was a hugely impressive game for the 49ers, especially for the offense. Garoppolo was incredible, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns. The defense had multiple sacks, and the Niners were favored to win this game by 10, and they were leading by 11 with about 4 minutes to go. Yes, they gave up the long touchdown, but those kinds of things happen. And to meet that adversity on the road, on a short week, really shows how tough they are. They are mentally tough, and they are going to be a tough team to beat. Guys, I want to thank you so much. I know that you've been waiting patiently for this video. I know it ran a little long. I wanted to do something extra special and really get into all of it. And I cannot wait to break down the 49ers and the Seahawks on Monday night. That game is going to be awesome. I want to thank all my new subscribers. If you like this video, please share it. You guys have shared my videos over 600 times. I'm just absolutely humbled and blown away by that. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week.